Hey guys, how's it going? So today I am just bringing you a quick review on this game, the Crust. I have played several hours. I think I'm around like six or 7 hours of the game. Let me have a look here quickly. Yes, like 7 hours basically of the game. I've basically played through most of the game. I wouldn't say all of the game, but I've played through most of the game, and I just want to give you guys my opinion on the game. Normally I would obviously be doing a first impression review, but this is very much not first impression. I am pretty much ready to give my opinion on this game. Now, this game is currently in early access, so obviously things will change, and things have to change, unfortunately, with this game. Like, I like the game a lot. It's a nice game, but currently there are a lot of broken things in the game. So to give you a quick rundown of the game is a colony management, economy management type game with a very interesting premise. You are on a moon. I'm not sure if it is the moon, but you are on a moon. You can see, you can zoom out a very impressive amount. And something happens. I won't tell you what it happens because it's actually a spoiler, but something happens and you are stranded on this moon, and it is your job to get off of the moon. So you start out with basically nothing, just like a couple of robots, and you have to manage your power. You get power through solar panels. Here are a bunch of solar panels, but during night, as the moon rotates, you obviously don't get any more power because the dark side of the moon, I think, lasts something like 3 days in this game, three in-game days. So you basically have to have a whole bunch of batteries and enough solar panels to last you through those 3 days. Otherwise, you will basically be left without power. So there's a couple of interesting mechanics and stuff like that. There's also a bunch of destroyed buildings that you can salvage in order to get resources. And then pretty early on in the game, like 30 minutes to an hour into the game, you unlock the ability to dig downwards, because on the surface there's just a bunch of destroyed buildings, but as you dig downwards, you dig this thing over here, and then it's very closed. It's like only this size that is actually excavated. The rest is not excavated. So you can see here that I have excavated quite a large amount of the size already. And as you excavate, you find resources. There's different deposits, like that's a titanium deposit, that's an ice deposit, iron deposit. There's a bunch of different deposits, silicon deposit, and you use all of these different resources to build your base. And yeah, that's basically the name of the game. You use all of these resources, and then you have to build a rocket type thing to get off of the planet. That's basically all I can say without spoiling too much of the game. So you also find humans on the planet. You start out with no humans. There's only robots. You have like 3 or 4 robots that you can control at the beginning. As you can see here, I now have probably 20 robots that I can control, whizzing all over the place, collecting resources. So you start out without any humans, and then later on in the game you find humans. Now, once again, I can't say too much because it's gonna spoil the game, but you find humans. Now, this is where we run into a little bit of an issue. My humans died due to a bug in the game. So I no longer have any humans in this playthrough that I've now played 7 hours on. I no longer have any humans in the game. So there's some bugs in the game currently that can happen which are not very good. That is why I would very much recommend that you either, just to support the developers, I would recommend you purchase the game but not really play it. You know, I've done it a bunch of times where I purchase a game during early access and then I just leave the game. I don't play the game until the game fully releases, you know, and sometimes that can take 6 months, sometimes that can take 6 years. You know, you don't really know when a game is going to release out of early access. But that's honestly what I would recommend with this game. It already is a good game, but there's a lot of bugs in the game, like a lot of bugs. I did do a review on Steam as well. I can show you guys over here once again, and just to show you all of the things that I found so far. So basically, one of the biggest issues that I don't understand why the developers chose to do that is that storages can only contain one single resource type. So if you look over here, this is a brick storage, and you select the resource type over here. So you can only select one single type of resource. So at the end of the day, for all of your resources, you're gonna need 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. You're gonna need 20 of these resource storage buildings, and that's only for one, if you only have one, because they only have a capacity of 512. So if you have a lot of bricks, then you have to build a lot of brick storages, which means you're not going to have just 20 different storages. You're going to have 40 or 60 or 80 or 100. It's just completely unnecessary to make it so that the storage buildings, the depots, can only contain a single type of resource. It is really, really, really unnecessary, in my opinion. It's one of the issues that I have with the game. It's not a bug. Like I said, the game is very buggy right now. That's not a bug. That is simply a criticism of the game that the developers will need to fix. And the game also contains copyrighted audio, which is not nice. I uploaded a little bit of gameplay just to test, and I got a copyright strike on it. Or a copyright claim, at least. The building breakdown system is obtuse and removes fun from the game. So, as I said, there are buildings out here on the surface of the moon that you can break down. And that's simply obtuse, in my opinion. They make it too difficult for you to actually break down those buildings. I can't say too much more because it would be spoiling, but the mechanics behind breaking down the building is just too obtuse. It takes too much effort to break down some of those buildings. So I'm not a fan of that at all. And then the research system is stupid and needs huge redesign. So the way that the research system currently works is that you are given a certain amount of points, and you can see currently I'm getting 0, 0, 0. Now you might ask, why are you not getting any research resources? Well, that's part of the stupidity of the game. The research system, the only way that you can get a research is through getting it daily, and you only get it daily through doing certain quests. So there are certain quests. If you complete the quest, it will then say you will get 50 blue research, you get blue research, orange research, and green research. So the quest will say you will get 50 blue research for the next 20 days or the next 15 days. And then after that, it completely stops. After that, it literally runs out. So if you aren't researching something during that time, you simply lose that research points. So you can't even stack the research points up if you don't use them or anything like that. It's literally use it or lose it. And then after the duration has run out, you then are stuck in the situation where I currently am, where I'm getting 0, 0, 0, which means I cannot research anything. I literally have still got quite a lot of stuff to research. As you can see, there's still quite a lot of stuff. There's some stuff that's not in the game currently yet, because as I say, the game is still in early access, but I can't progress anymore. I can't research any more stuff until I find more quests and do more quests. So the research system is fucking stupid. It is one of the biggest criticisms that I have of the game. Otherwise than that, haulers can't deposit building materials or assist with research construction at all. So you get different robots. The small white robots that you see scurrying around are able to deposit building materials and stuff like that. But the orange ones, you will see slightly bigger orange robots that move slower. There's a couple of them that move slower than the fast white ones. Those orange robots can't deposit building materials or assist with research or construction at all. So literally all that they can do is take resources from one point to another point. Like from the ground, for instance, they can collect resources from the ground and take it to a storage building. That's literally all that they can do. They cannot dig, because the game has a lot of digging, so they cannot dig, they cannot repair, they cannot help with construction, they can't deposit building materials. Like they can literally only pick stuff up and take it to a storage, and that's really brutal. It really limits the usefulness that a hauler can do. That is why I think I only have like 3 haulers, and the rest of my 20 whatever robots are white robots, because the haulers are really pretty useless in 90% of the stuff that you need to do in the game. Otherwise than that, you have to scan a resource vein with one scanner before you can mine it. So this is another really idiotic mechanic in the game, which makes 0 sense. So there's a deposit over here, for instance, this deposit right here. You cannot use this deposit, even though you have excavated it, you've removed all of the dirt from around the deposit, and it's literally there. You just literally need to build the extraction building on top of it. But you cannot build the resource extraction building on top of it until you have scanned it with a specific building. Where's that building? Is it this one? Yes, this one. So you have to build this building, which you unlock later on in the game. Then you have to charge it, because it requires a charge with batteries. Then you have to do this, and literally you have to hit it with this thing. If you don't hit it with this thing, then you cannot utilize the resource. So you literally have to aim like this, and you have to hit it. If it is not in the range, like let's say there's a resource over here, literally over here, just to the left of this power pole, and you want to use it, you literally cannot use it until you hit it with this thing. And if it's over there, which is out of the range, then you're fucked. You then have to build another ore detector like that one over here, and you then have to hit it with the scan before you can use the resource. So you literally, even though you found the resource, you excavated the resource, you cannot build a mine on top of the resource, a mining building, until you have scanned the resource, which is fucking idiotic. It is really, really stupid. It just makes the game so much more obtuse than what it needs to be. Honestly, it is incredibly obtuse of a mechanic to put into the game. Then the robots simply don't listen to you. You can make something high priority, so the priority system needs to be looked at. So this is very self-explanatory. There are buildings. When you build a building, you can mark the one building as high priority and then the other building as low priority, and the robots just don't give a fuck. They just do what they want. They will build the building that is a lower priority first before the one that you've marked higher priority. So the priority system right now is really, really, really useless. And priority systems in games like these are very important. And they're very, very important. And then the overworld exploration system is stupid. Now, there is an overworld exploration system. Without spoiling too much, you can go like this, and then you can explore the moon. You have a rover, and you can use that rover to drive around and search for points of interest. It's really stupid. Just the way that it is done, it is really, really idiotic. It's just a little mini game where you take your rover, you drive around on the map until you find something, and then you interact with the thing, and sometimes you get resources, sometimes you get other stuff. Like, it's just a really stupid little mini game, which honestly doesn't add anything good to the game. But otherwise than those issues, the game is really fun. As you can see, like, you put down a conveyor belt, you refine the ore into ingots, you refine the ingots into parts, and you use the parts to build stuff. So it's almost like Factario or Satisfactory, anything like that, but it has a more of a city colony management type gameplay to it. But it's a fun game, but it's really, really broken right now. As I say, I can't even progress with this playthrough anymore because all of my colonists died. So yeah, and like I said, there are some really fundamental issues with the game as well, like the idiotic research system. I literally cannot progress anymore with the research right now. And yeah, the ore scanning system is really fucking stupid. There's just a bunch of really stupid things, and the fact that you can only put a single resource into a storage building, really idiotic things that I would just hope that the developers fix before the game releases. The game released into early access, let me have a look here, in July. So it released in July, and they, according to the developers, say that they are going to work on the game for about a year. So probably around July 2025 is when the game is planned to be fully released out of early access. And yeah, I just really hope that the developers can fix what needs to be fixed. Currently, it's not a game that I can recommend just due to how broken the game is. The game is really broken right now. I mean, it functions, but stuff like the research system is completely broken. The colonist system is really broken because they can die, and then you can't do anything. You can't progress with the colonist system anymore. there are also several broken quests. So yeah, currently for $30 is a really brutal. I cannot recommend the game for $30, but in the future perhaps, I hope, because I do like the game, I hope that the developers can do what needs to be done to make the game worth the $30 and to make the game actually playable, and then to improve upon many of the mechanics that are currently broken in the game. So yeah, guys, I will be covering the game in the future when it releases again. Like I said, right now it's too broken. I'm not even gonna play the game anymore because it's too broken. I will need to restart my playthrough on this game just to get my colonists back. But yeah, I look forward to the developers hopefully fixing everything that needs to be fixed, because yeah, it's one of those games that can be good. It can definitely be good, but it's just a matter of the developers making it good, the developers taking the feedback that players give and fixing what needs to be fixed and changing what needs to be changed. So yeah, guys, the developer sent me a key and I checked out the game, as you guys saw, about 7 hours of playtime, but honestly right now it's just not really playable. Honestly, it is just not playable. I want to play the game more, but currently it is just not playable. It reminds me actually a lot of Dungeon Keeper 2. Like Dungeon Keeper 2, you also mine the stuff, you know, you mine your dungeon. You have these little imps running around, like in Dungeon Keeper 2, these little imps, even though these are robots, you have these little imps scurrying all over the place, picking up resources, collecting gold, and you expand your dungeon. The game really feels like Dungeon Keeper in a certain way, except this game has a lot of automation also built into it. But yeah, guys, we will see if the game can be worth it in the future. I hope that the developers can make it worth it, but currently I cannot recommend the game. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. As always, if you want to support the channel, if you want to allow me to do more game reviews for you guys, then you can support me on Patreon. It directly allows me to purchase more games and do more game reviews for you guys. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time.